Is it? February 6, 2024. Hope you're all doing okay. Hello, Lindy London, Andrew Cruz, Donna, Donald Beretta, Rage Against the Machine. Hello, Sherry Hughes, thank you. As always, Marty Lauderdale, thank you. As always, so appreciative. Jane Northrup, Oracle 11, Super Painting 62, Ray Clay, Laura Florson, Blues du Jours, hello. Antonio Ponce, hi. Ezra, hi everybody. Donna Davidson, hello. I was thinking of you, Donna, when I said hello to Donald Beretta. And what I do have to say is thank you. Thank you for those, and because my memory is kind of shot, I went back to the 1st of December just to thank everybody who has donated on PayPal, like Chris C., thank you very much. Donald D., thank you very much. I'm sorry. I'm getting the Donalds and the Donnas mixed up. No, Donna Davidson, thank you, sweetie. Thank you so much. And Tony P., thank you. Roberta K. Oh, some have just been donating for years, and I so appreciate the support. Like Roberta. All right, I'm gonna... It's very dark here today. It has not been a good day. And I have to put on another light because I can't even read. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, it was a pretty scary day, actually. The winds were whipping, and being in a tin can, it's not fun. Some of those winds were so strong today that I just felt like this thing is just going to flip right over. Anyway, let me thank Pierre B. and Gilbert D. and Donald B. Donald, Donna, thank you. Robert T., Diane M., Pamela D., Ryan L., Victoria M., and Robin H., thank you very much, and LK, thank you. Yeah. You definitely are keeping me going and keeping me alive. So I very, very, very much appreciate it. Thank you, Antonio. Seek and ye shall find, Chasing Autism, Marky Mark, Third Eye Sore. Thank you, Donna, so much. Sticks of TNT. I leave out the last name because I once thanked somebody in a video and gave the full name, and they were not happy about it. So that's why I just, the first name and the initial. I don't know if people want to be exposed, so that's why I do that. Marlo, hello. Rick Yorkin, hello. Linda Tully, hello. Alright, so, redhead, something to chew on. Yeah, today was not fun, and we were supposed to get rain. Well, we got a few drops, but that wind, I was never scared of weather before, but now, due to knowing what they can do with this weather, it does get kind of nerve-wracking, to say the least. But the power stayed on. That I was very happy about. And this is current radar at 5:06 p.m. Look at the speed that these, weather fronts, the weather warfare, look at the speed that this is going. And this has been all day, except this came about. I took several captures, and this suddenly materialized as a precipitation blob right over the Arizona border. And look at all of the pie cutouts. Look at these frequencies. Nevada. And the atmospheric river continues on. I think they're preparing for the next storm that you're going to be getting in California. And yeah, I mean, it just is. We are living in, certainly since 9/11/2001, war on terror, war on everything, war on life itself. It's only getting worse. So, we might have another day of this tomorrow in Arizona. Nothing wrong here with these little pie cutouts. Yeah, that's Mother Nature. All right. Let's do weather. Where's weather? Weather or not?
A Southern California soaker. Record-setting rainfall leading to mud flows and flash floods.
There is a thunderous crash, and a river of mud came off the mountain.
L.A. County reporting more than 300 mudslides, some pushing homes off their foundations, streets and streams turning into raging rivers. One man having to be rescued by helicopter after jumping into fast-moving water to save his dog. Sinkholes taking down power lines and gigantic potholes damaging dozens of cars. The flash flooding forcing some people to be rescued from the roofs of their cars. Even President Joe Biden weighing in.
First of all, I think you guys are undergoing one hell of an operation here.
And the rain and danger is far from over tonight. Let's get right to our meteorologist, Dallas Raines.
Wait, what did he say? You guys are undergoing... Let's listen to Biden again.
Biden weighing in.
First of all, I think you guys are undergoing one hell of an operation here.
Undergoing one hell of an operation here. Is it the weather operation that he's talking about? One would think. Was that a little bit of truth for the people who just really have no clue what's going on?
I want to go home. This is not California. We have climate change. It's never been like this.
This is among the heaviest we've ever had. Yeah, this is bad. Right, Heather? This is bad. Yes, very bad.
We would rather have snow than this. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Come to Chicago. It is a lot easier to clean up than the water.
It's climate change. I think that's a mind that you just can't even have adult conversation with.
Well, California is bracing for even more extreme weather from a powerful and deadly storm.
That storm is dumping torrential rains across Southern California on Monday, triggering flooding and mudslides. Los Angeles recording more than 7 inches of rain in just 2 days, making it the wettest 2 days in LA since 1956.
That storm just devastating parts of the region, with LA seeing more than 300 mudslides. Dozens of people had to be rescued. So far, at least 3 people have been reported dead from that storm as well. And then you've got the flood watches that remain in effect for California, Nevada, Arizona. Also breaking this hour, the National Weather Service issuing a rare tornado warning for parts of San Diego County.
Wow.
Our extreme weather team is tracking all of it for us. Let's start with Jacqueline Lee. She's there in Beverly Glen. That's just near Los Angeles. Tell us what the situation is like there.
Hey, Kara and Terry, you can see just how powerful and devastating these mudslides are. You're looking at someone's house, and here's the deal. This street actually continues all the way up, but you wouldn't know it because this house slammed into the neighbors. You can see the roofing, the insulation, all the contents splattered across the street. And over here, you can see there's 2 cars buried underneath this carport. And what's more important about all of this is, amazingly, there are no fatalities, at least here in Los Angeles. As you had mentioned, more than 300 mudslides. Now, earlier, we did speak with someone who lives down the street. He explained all of this devastation happened around 2 in the morning on Monday. He says the people ran out in their pajamas. This whole neighborhood down the street, he says they are all very close. There was a handful of neighbors from several houses all appearing at this man's home down at the end of the block asking for shelter. I mean, just if you see just the sheer amount of force that Mother Nature has behind it when it comes to these mudslides. And what's even more concerning, officials say, is mudslides can still continue even after the storm passes because all of that soil, all of the rocks are still loose and the earth can still shift, guys.
I mean, that's just amazing to look at that, Jacqueline. Thank you for that report. Let's bring in meteorologist Samara Theodore now.
So, yeah, these are different homes from the homes that I showed last night, and at least 3 people dead in California storms, so maybe that woman, unbelievable, no fatalities, 3.
Alert, at least 3 people dead after an atmospheric river, as they are calling it, has been
I think she did say in Los Angeles.
Drenching the west coast. The storm dumped nearly a foot of rain in some parts of LA County, and you're looking at the San Fernando Valley right there. The city of LA declared a local emergency with more than 300 mudslides reported. Let's check in with senior meteorologist Janice Dean for our Fox Weather forecast. Janice, look at those numbers. Yeah. They don't get that amount of rain in some years.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, this is really incredible, historic for this region. Close to a foot of rain, you mentioned, around the Santa Monica Mountains in the Los Angeles area. And today we're getting more rain in the forecast. Maybe not as concentrated, but on and off showers as we head into Wednesday for parts of Southern California. And
all right, if any of you from California haven't looked into the weather and you want to listen to the remainder of that broadcast, the link is in the chat. But the Fullerton Informer posted this video, California bomb cyclone. I'm glad some people are posting on the very unusual behavior of Mother Nature?
They're calling this an atmospheric river, okay? And I want to kind of hone in right here, that's Southern California, right in this region here. And you could see this warm subtropical moisture coming in from the southwest in a northeasterly trajectory, okay? What's missing is the counterclockwise rotation up in the north, okay? There is nothing churning up in the Gulf of Alaska or off the coast of Canada. As a matter of fact, this whole thing is revolving around clockwise rotation off the coast of Northern California. I guess that's probably close to 1,000 miles out, maybe less. But I want to focus your attention in on this right here, because this clockwise rotation is going in the wrong direction. And what it's doing is it's hurling the subtropical moisture out from the west over the top and mixing it as it pulls cold air down from the northwest. I want you to look at the airflow direction here, folks. This thing is winding around in the wrong direction and pulling subtropical moisture up over the top of it, as well as pulling cold air masses down from the north. At the same time, the subtropical component continues to flow around this thing. Okay? What we've got is rotation in two different directions. The subtropical component coming up to the southwestern portion of California is moving in to a northeasterly direction to the west coast of the United States. The subtropical component to the north of Southern California is moving in from a northwesterly direction. This is unbelievable, folks. We got it coming in over the top and coming in on the bottom. This is spinning around, bringing the subtropical moisture in over the top, bringing down cold air from the north, mixing with the subtropical component to the south. I have never, ever seen anything like this in my life, folks. Look at this. It's turning in the wrong direction. This is clockwise rotation. This is almost unheard of from a meteorological standpoint. Normally,
all right, I'm going to put a link in. You can listen to the remainder. Oh, yes. Well, that's what we have now. And, with those electromagnetic frequencies, they can whip these things in any direction they want. They can whip around clouds. You get kind of dizzy. Let me show you just... Oh, boy. I took too many captures today. Okay. Yeah, look at this. Look at it's blasting from north to south in Central America. This was the atmospheric river at 7:26 a.m. West Coast time. Is Arizona the same time as California? I don't even know. I guess I should know. So, look at the speed. Look at the speed of these storms. And that wind, boy, I felt it. I really felt it. Look at this. Look at the air masses going in different directions here. Right off the coast, the East Coast. It's bizarre. You can get dizzy sometimes watching, all of these air masses going in different directions. But really? 7:26 a.m. What the hell? All right, so we have a cloud mass that's going down in a southwesterly direction, and this coming down in a southeasterly direction on top of it. But look at all of the lines that you can see. Look at all of these lines. What, pray tell, are they? Jeez. There they are. So this is Ohio. This is Indiana. This is Illinois. Look at this. It's a mess. It's a toxic mess. Because the winds came early today, it's one of the reasons why I kept going over to these sites. And look at this blasting away Nevada. Still a whole lot of frequencies. I don't know how you guys are feeling in Central America, but if you're not feeling well and you can't figure out why, hey, could it be that you have just been blasted? How you doing in Oregon and Idaho and Nevada? And this was at 10:10. Yeah, I was actually scared. Not too much scares me, but now it's people and weather. Look at the development of precipitation right off, right at the border, Arizona, Mexico. Look at the speed. And is it a surprise that San Diego has a rare tornado warning? No, it's not a surprise when man can create weather. But do you notice how this is being stopped right here in Arizona? Wow. We are not bringing it up north, at least not today. Yeah. This was at 2:15 p.m. Again, you know, it's like these things, you see how fast they're moving, but they don't move on onward. Like, they're whipping these things, but they're staying in the same place. Oh, man. So, people and weather, yeah. I know a lot of you are probably Marlo severely depressed. I'm there. Yeah. I'm pretty depressed. I keep going, but I have to say, my feeling very depressed is just living in this motorhome. So, circumstances. Anyway, thank you, the Fulton Informer. Did I put the link in? I don't know, so I'm going to put the link in again. Yeah, we're seeing things that we shouldn't be seeing. And you would think that we would be able to have adult conversation, but no. Here, UAE Center for Weather Manipulation. Yes, but, you know, they come out and they talk about cloud seeding. Cloud seeding, really? Is that the be-all and end-all of weather modification? We know it's not.
The UAE government invested more than $20 million in research to start a process called cloud seeding. The UAE performs around 1,000 hours of cloud seeding a year, and it's all controlled by this building in the National Center of Meteorology in Abu Dhabi, where they track the whole process. We met with a cloud seeding expert to explain how the seeding process works.
We wait the forecast when we have a good, chance for a cloud. We send the aircraft to that location. It go under the cloud. In the first stage of the cloud, there is good updraft at that time, start to release all the salt, and with the good updraft, of course, it will go inside the cloud. The droplets will become bigger and start to rain.
The center manufactures a salt substance that helps enhance rainfall. They put them in what they call flares. This is a sample plane here at the National Center of Meteorology, but the real planes fly out from the runways in Al Ain.
Operation 219.
We also spoke to one of the weather forecasters. He explains how the operations work.
We align our pilots to be on the airports and tell them when to be at the airport. So as expected, we wait for the clouds to appear on the radar, and there we have our pilots talking to us. Let me know if there is a
It's rather boring to listen to this cloud seeding crap. They have drones. They're not pilots up there. They've got drones that cloud seed. They've got, the lasers. They've got electromagnetic frequency. What? But, I show this, and you can show it to other people. If they can do this, and they've been doing it, it's weather modification. And when you think about all of the changes that life has gone through with the technology, don't you think that this, even just this, 1.5 minute video might spark something in an adult's mind, and they'd say, well, if they can do that, maybe they can manipulate the weather in other means, by other means. No. No. And here. Oh, God. Catastrophic warming effect. Yes, the end of the world was coming in the 90s.
Was making airbags or automatic seatbelts mandatory for new cars. Critics urged immediate action. And finally, a federal report today predicted possible catastrophic warming of the Earth by the 1990s with the strong climate change. I'm Jessica Savage in New York. More news later on this NBC.
Jessica Savage. Remember when she was young? Catastrophic effects in the 1990s. It's coming. This was in the 80s. It's coming. Oh, okay. Well, the catastrophic effects are coming from the weather terrorists that are using weather as a weapon. And yeah, government slow walking Maui fire cleanup. Here we talk the billions going to Ukraine, the billions going to Israel. East Palestine, Maui, a whole lot of those who have suffered the consequences of the weather terrorists, not just in Lahaina, but still waiting? Really? Okay. Maui County is refusing to let residents who lost their homes in the fire to clear their own property, let alone rebuild. The government is only letting their contractors into the burn zone to clean up. The biggest problem is, at the rate they're working, it will take several years for them to finish cleanup, and that's before rebuilding even starts. They're intentionally stalling. Yes. Forcing people to leave. And even if your lot is cleared, you're still not allowed to start rebuilding. There needs to be a literal army of people out here clearing lots, not just a handful. Why is mainstream media ignoring Maui? Why? Because they do want people to leave. They want to move them along so that they can develop their 15-minute city. Bank of America is breaking its promise to not finance new coal projects. What? Bank of America is breaking its promise to not finance new coal projects. You mean coal is still being developed? Such projects would simply be subjected to enhanced due diligence. I guess the ESG mandates from corporations, from investment firms, from banks, ain't really panning out the way they wanted. So, forget about it. We're gonna be funding new coal projects because we're making billions off the export. Biden makes coal great again as exports soar to India. Okay, so they've been talking, the coal industry, it will be obsolete, it's done, it's destroyed, we've got to get rid of this dirty energy. But it's okay to sell to India. $5 billion in overseas sales in 2023. Shipping upwards of 32.5 million metric tons of the high-polluting power fuel. Okay, they're literally going to deplete all energy from Americans. But if they can make billions, oh, well, we don't really care about that climate change stuff. As U.S. utility coal usage for electricity generation tumbles to the lowest in our country. India, go for it. Oh, boy. South Koreans, they're not wanting to buy these EVs, these electric vehicles. fears of battery fires. Yeah. Hopefully, more and more Americans are not buying EVs, because these electric vehicles with their lithium batteries are really turning out to be a danger, even parked in your garage or on your driveway. Oop, boom, fire, burns down houses. Not to mention the charging is a real problem. Waste of the day, over $1 billion in weapons missing in Ukraine. Missing? Don't you think that the Pentagon would keep a real close watch on where those weapons are going? Black market. It's just... We're just overloaded and shit. That's what life has just become. All right, I'm going to post the link to this. He's talking about, in the beginning of the video, he's talking about the revolution in Europe and how the EU has caved to the farmers. Okay. European Union surrendered to farmers. If there was any kind of surrender, evil doesn't stop. They just keep going on and on.
What are we actually talking about in this live stream? We're going to give you some breaking news about what is happening inside the European Union. The pressure from the farmers that reached many countries, initially mostly led by the Dutch in the Netherlands, and then essentially like a virus infected the whole of the European Union. The Italians came out, the Spanish, the Germans, the French, the Belgians, everybody came out, and now Ursula has decided to surrender. So we're going to get the details of what we're actually talking about, because there were a couple of very, very strict net zero targets that these guys wanted to do, and the whole of the net zero program is completely collapsing anyway. And you had individual countries like Germany also backing down on certain domestic net zero policies and already. But this is actually on a more EU-wide level, which is led by Ursula von der Leyen. And this is actually about, for example, the demand to reduce nitrogen, methane and other emissions linked to farming by almost a third. That target that was going to destroy many people in the farming community has now been removed from a wider Brussels plan to cut the greenhouse gas emissions by 90% by 2040. Now, the farmers also had a couple of other demands, which they have also received. They have also got the confirmation that the EU have decided to change their mind. Now, they haven't changed their mind because they are so virtuous. They know the pressure. They know what the farmers have done over the last few weeks. They know that the economies are going to go down. They know that supermarkets are struggling to find vegetables and meat or anything that the farmers are providing. And the consumers are freaking out. And the consumers are the taxpayers and the voters. And the EU and all the governments linked to the European Union are scared of it. About their upcoming elections, for example. That's why they're doing this. Now, obviously, they're going to find a way to introduce similar policies through the back door at some point. But for now, let's celebrate this huge victory for Europeans. And again, most of us, it's not really just about the Europeans anymore. This is about the domino effect. The other issue we had was about meat reduction. Yeah, because the European Union are the gods of morality, and they have to tell you how you should live your life. A recommendation urging the EU citizens to eat less meat has also been removed from the plan. So again, good news for meat eaters, bad news for political and the activist vegans who like to go out and target restaurants and people who want to eat tasty, tasty steak.
I'll put the link in again. You can listen to the full broadcast, but I have to say, you know, I see these victories and then they just kind of slip in a very deceptive way, all of their plans. We have lived it. I hope these farmers can hold on to the victory that they have achieved. The Dutch are still out protesting, or the Netherlands, yeah, Dutch. They're still trying to get rid of 3,000 farms in the Netherlands. Yeah, this is, when you think about Stalin, right? Just stealing property and starving the population. What do you think is going on here? Communism on steroids. They want to take out 3,000 farms. Farmers storm the EU Parliament.
And I can tell you worse, as the people get your number, it won't be long before they storm this chamber and they hang you. And they'll be right. Well, Mr. President, I'm minded actually to quote the great American philosopher Murray Rothbard here, that the state is an institution of theft writ large. Tax is just about a system where politicians and bureaucrats steal money from their citizens to squander in the most disgraceful manner. This place is no exception. Fascinatingly, and I really don't know how you manage to keep a straight face when you're talking about tax evasion, the whole Commission and the Commission bureaucracy avoid their taxes. You don't pay taxes like citizens pay taxes. You have all sorts of special deals, composite tax rates, high tax thresholds, non-contributory pension schemes. You are the biggest tax avoiders in Europe, and here you sit pontificating. Well, the message is getting home to the people of the European Union. You're going to find that Eurosceptics are coming back in June in ever greater numbers. And I can tell you worse, as the people get your number, it won't be long before they storm this chamber and they hang you, and they'll be right.
We need more people speaking like this, don't we? Don't we? Yes. The great growth hoax. All right. I'm just going to read a little bit of this article. Beating a dead horse. Yeah. Ever since the supposedly amazing GDP report from quarter 4 2023, we've been blasted by the media about how great the economy is doing. These claims do not fit with human experience. Last we heard from the Census Bureau, real income is down. And no one doubts it. Everyone, or at least most average people, they have strong feelings about their living standards degrading. Unemployment data is broken. Well, and how long might I and others be saying that? All of government data is a lie. It does not account for the labor dropouts. Excuse me. Dropouts, or adjust for multiple job holders, or otherwise reveal anything about labor participation or remuneration. I'm losing it, guys. I'm losing it. Unemployment is technically low, but so what? Yeah. All right, I'll post the link to this if you want to read it, but we all know everything is a lie, and so many in the financial field, so many economists, they, every month, you know, we come out with the, 350 some odd jobs created for the month of January. No! It's all a lie. So the government comes out with their data, and then you get hit with an awful lot of people who are in the field, and they come out and go, what? Are you kidding? No. And look, this is what CNBC posts. Why getting a job feels impossible right now. Maybe because there are very few jobs out there? Oh, no, no, no. CNBC has other reasons for it.
Now looks solid. Unemployment hit a 54-year low at 3.4% back in January of 2023.
Now, when they say unemployment is at 3.4%, to those willfully ignorant, they're going to believe that the economy is just swell and that there are jobs out there. We have such low unemployment. That means all of these industries are just doing fabulously. Oh my God. Yeah, it's so lie after lie after lie after lie. And I'm sorry, but the people in the government, they do a dance together. Acceptors of lies are worse than the liar, because the acceptor says, hey, I like how you communicate. Keep on it. Keep on lying. The acceptor actually waters the liar to continue to lie.
And U.S. employers added 2.7 million people to the payroll in 2023 alone. The January jobs report also showed the 2024 labor market was off to a solid start.
When we look at the hard data,
look at this, and then you listen to these people who, I don't know this guy. Is he lying outright? Or is he so unbelievably ignorant that he can come on mainstream media, spew total nonsense, and get away with it? It's remarkable.
It seems to suggest that the labor market has been fairly strong and, in fact, surprisingly resilient, especially after 2023, where we had headlines about layoffs and forecasts of recession. But when you look at the soft data, Americans tend to be a little bit less optimistic about how the economy is doing, and in particular about the job market.
Politicians just talking about how the economy is so great. I just want to scream from the rooftops. Then how come no one can find a job?
Recently, unemployed full-time workers applied to an average of 30 jobs, only to receive an average of 4 callbacks or responses.
If you look at the job vacancies, they're down a little bit, but not down enormously. But if you ask, how hard are you working to fill them? The answer seems to be not very right now.
So why does it feel so hard to get a job right now? And is the U.S. labor market as strong as it seems?
Hi, my name is Jenna Jackson. I'm from Ardmore, Pennsylvania, in the suburbs of Philadelphia.
This job market is like the craziest that I have ever seen.
I was frustrated just with how my job search process has been going. I haven't quantified how many applications I've applied to. It would be a little depressing, I feel, at this point to quantify it. But it was definitely in the hundreds at least.
55% of unemployed adults said they were burnt out from searching for a new job. Younger generations were impacted the most, with 66% complaining of burnout stemming from job search.
Looking for a job can be a full-time job. There's a lot that goes into it. Filling out applications online can be tedious and can be time-consuming and can be really stressful.
Every day just feels like Groundhog Day. You're waking up doing the same thing.
When I looked at the data, if you just applied to a job through a job board, the odds of you getting hired were about 3%. So you got to apply to a lot of different jobs in order to have a chance to get them. And you're going to get lots and lots of just no responses. And it's exhausting if you do that.
A 2023 study from Glassdoor revealed that mentions of applicants being ghosted by their prospective employers grew substantially since before the COVID-19 pandemic.
We often hear from job seekers that they send out tons and tons of applications and they don't even hear back. And that can be very emotionally and mentally taxing.
It's unprofessional as well. It's like, especially if you're going to take the time to do an interview with them, you can at least let them know.
And I think it's because of technology. It's easy to put up a job and so many people can see that job. So when you get such an overwhelming response, it's often very difficult to get back to every single solitary candidate. Certainly during the Great Resignation, when the market was at a fever pitch.
Oh, God. All right. If you want to listen, this is a 10-minute segment, 10 and a half minutes. I can't do it. There are no jobs out there. That's what's going on. That's why these people are having such difficulty finding a job. And how about the bankruptcies? Filings increased 22% year over year. Subchapter 5 filings up 43%. Yeah, the economy is doing just beautifully. U.S. diesel supply tightens as manufacturing comes roaring back. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oilprice.com. Yeah, manufacturing has come roaring back. Can you feel it? U.S. manufacturers are recovering from an extended slump, but they have been saying that manufacturing, Biden, we're back. Manufacturing, it's definitely, on a steady, they've been saying this for years, that manufacturing is back, when it has not been back. It's literally being destroyed. My God. I can't believe. The familial dynamic, the individual familial dynamic, if you've grown up in that narcissistic dynamic where people lie and lie and lie and scapegoat and gaslight, and you do so much work to get out of that dynamic, then you do more work because you don't want to attract any more of those people. And then you realize, holy shit, there's no escape, because the collective familial dynamic, lie after lie after lie, and scapegoating and gaslighting, and that's what you live. That's what you live. No escape. Massachusetts cuts college degree requirements for state jobs, except where absolutely necessary. And some Massachusetts leaders praised the move as important for establishing an inclusive workforce. Inclusivity includes the uneducated, but really college is a sham. Don't go, because you're only going to end up in your death trap. Yeah. It just sounds kind of weird that we're building a workforce that represents the diversity of the state. Okay. Well, the thing is that what we had not too long ago kind of worked. So all of this is, I really do feel like they started with public schools, dumbing down the public. Then they went on to the colleges and universities. And then they went into, with this diversity, equity, inclusion into corporations and government. Just dumb down the entire place. Not that people who don't have a college degree are dumb. That's not what I'm saying. But I think a lot of you know what I'm saying. Dartmouth returns, oh my God, look, oof, wow, standardized testing for admission after failed experience. Failed experiment. Failed experience. In response to the virus pandemic and BLM riots in the summer of 2020, some elite colleges and universities shredded testing requirements for admission. Several years later, the test optional admission has yet to produce the promising results for racial and class-based equity that many woke academic institutions wished. I would suggest you get rid of that flag, because that flag does not represent everyone. Let's listen to this.
What is 15 times 4?
15 times 4.
Gosh.
20, 30, 23. 48. 48. It's 48. I would say 48 with her.
I would say 48. Why did I say
48?
Okay. Really good. You're hired. Go to Massachusetts. I'm going to read some of this. This is Michael Oxford. Okay. And I think many of you will remember this video, that I'm not going to play the whole thing if it'll play. Okay. This man was fired for not wearing a mask. Can I say that? Yeah, not wearing that. And I posted his video in a live. So this is what he wrote just recently. I'm currently sitting at my house with no power due to a lack of payment. I'm 40 years old, and this has never happened to me in my life. It is embarrassing to admit on the internet for the world to see, and I'm not proud of it, but it is my current reality. I can pay in a few days, and I'll be fine. But please walk with me for a moment, if you will. I apologize to those who've heard this story before, but necessary recap. February 2nd, 2023, I was fired for refusing to wear a mask. This happened at a residential construction site where the homeowner did not currently live. It was a 5-story, multi-million-dollar home overlooking the Palace of Fine Arts and the Golden Gate Bridge in the Pacific Heights of San Francisco. I'd been on this site for months, and there was no mask mandate. They, all of a sudden, decided to impose one, and I refused. It got me thrown off the job site and fired. Made a video about it. It went viral. Tucker Carlson booked me for an interview. I ended up on Tucker the next day with my lawyer, and now friend Tracy Henderson. Since then, I seem to have been completely blacklisted from my career of 18 years in AV, residential, and commercial. I work directly for some of the top tech executives in the Bay Area, names you know, and for those, or for these same tech companies as well. Now I've been turned down to be an apprentice tree climber. I've been turned down for entry-level technician positions at dozens of AV companies. I was turned down for an AV supervisor position at a local Christian organization recently. I was even refused a job as a grocery store clerk. It's become very clear that I'm being discriminated against because of being on Tucker Carlson. My online presence, my opinions, and arguably my ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation. This is a major problem, and it goes against everything I was taught was right. being raised as a Californian by a Californian. For evidence of that type of discrimination, just look at Mark Cuban's admitted hiring practices. So now he's going to run for California State Senate. This is, people are getting destroyed, okay?
All right, so I just got fired. I got fired for refusing to wear a mask. Yeah, February of 2023, I got fired for refusing to wear a mask. I recently decided that I'm done being an actor in everybody's theater. I'm done playing all of these COVID games that are for nothing more than optics.
And I will link to it. And yeah, a whole lot of people just get done playing the game. And unfortunately, being done playing the game means that you can take a real big financial hit. But he does say that he's not asking for donations and he's going to be fine. So, for all of those, oh, he's just doing that for donations. There's a whole lot of them. So, let me just go over just some layoffs, recent layoffs. Today, public school in Austin, 24. I'm just not going to do the percentages, I'm just going to do the numbers. 11 at Piedmont Lithium, Bausch Power Tools, up to 560 in the next 2 years. 440 jobs from DocuSign. Hutchinson Technology, 90. Bilgo, 80. And 168. Uber. Estee Lauder, a whopping 1,860 to 3,100. Oracle Cerner, 100. Twin Cities Medica, 162. 209. Q Health, 250. GM, 34. An orthopedics place, 60. Almance, Burlington School System. 250 more layoffs for Liberty Mutual. Maurice's, 43. 180, University of Chicago Medical Center. 45 employees. Food, 52. 36 from DKP Buffalo. 18 Texoma. 23 Baldwin Wallace University. Innovations Refunds, 67. 60 employees from Polygon Labs. Zoom, 150. Identity Management Company, 400. This is just February. We're not even a week into February. Identity Management, 400. 30 from Derm Tech. 200 plus. Penske Logistics. Deutsche Bank, 3,500. 13, Roman Manufacturing. Thinks, 95. Regions Bank, 600. And it goes on. Zinn Technologies, 122. Newbold Services, 294. Cyber Vendor, 280. Walgreen, 145. Okay. I just got up to January 31. 1 week. Look at the numbers. The economy is just doing fabulously and there's so many jobs out there. Millennials own less than half the real estate wealth of boomers. Can they catch up? No. They really can't. Because our country is no longer the country that the baby boomers enjoyed. All of the wealth that they enjoyed, all of the opportunities that they enjoyed are no longer available to the Gen X's to the millennials to the Gen Zers. The dream of home ownership is slipping away for the younger generations, thanks to a vicious cycle of high mortgage rates and a chronically low supply of houses. I can't do anything about the volume. I have the volume really, really low. I have to just get it right so I can hear what's going on. This is a YouTube problem. And evictions are up. Evictions are up. Evictions are up. Wow, man. It's just going to continue.
Of evictions, that is leaving thousands of local families in our region with devastating consequences. As families fear being homeless, experts argue apartment complex and their attorneys are putting big cash in their pockets. First Alert 4's Chief Investigator Lauren Traeger continues her investigation, which began last night at 10. Well, tonight, the crisis and those holding power over so many.
Shamika Jones can hardly keep up with her 1-year-old, often gliding across the hardwood of their rental home in Bell Fountain Neighbors.
I lost my job on the 13th. I got carjacked on the 23rd.
The single mom to 3 fell on hard times, but she'd wanted to keep the roof over their head.
You've been making payments that haven't shown up on the ledger.
Correct.
You've been attempting to pay rent.
Correct.
With a rental ledger that didn't reflect her partial payments over recent months, it appeared she was far behind on rent when she wasn't. The property management company and its attorney, Randall Ranker, filed an eviction lawsuit against her. Just 1 month later, she was in court without her own attorney. We watched off camera as Ranker called her into a side room.
He was just like, how much can you pay?
By the time she emerged, she had signed a consent judgment, agreeing to pay $2,670, including $400 in attorney's fees and more in court costs, even though the property manager later acknowledged that initial number that sent her to eviction was wrong. She says she felt pressured to sign.
I didn't have no choice but to sign it, so I don't want to get put out. I got 3 kids.
The attorney she faced, Randall Ranker, is being sued by another former tenant, claiming violations of state and federal laws over his attempted eviction. Ranker has denied the allegations.
I think it's awful. I think eviction should be a last resort.
Area experts like Robert Swearingen of Legal Services of Eastern Missouri say Shamika's situation and others is indicative of a much larger issue.
There are some landlords and some attorneys for those landlords that will file as soon as you're late. They might wait 10 days, and then they immediately file that rent and possession lawsuit.
And it's an issue he says we should all pay attention to.
It's extremely costly for all of us for people to be evicted. They end up costing social services, all kinds of other kinds of social problems that we all have to pick up the tab for.
The problem, experts say, is this. The Princeton Eviction Lab has been tracking data all around the country. And in St. Louis City and County alone, they say more than 15,600 tenants faced eviction last year. In some months, filings trended much higher than pre-COVID averages, with evictions disproportionately impacting Black residents and women. Regionally, areas in the city and North County hit hardest. There are fewer mom-and-pop landlords, experts say, with a shift to corporate property management that gives less grace to tenants when they fall a bit behind. And rent overall is going up to a typical $951 a month in the region, out of reach for so many with few options of places to move that charge less.
And they're desperate because they don't know where to go. And we have a real crisis of low-income housing, and it's only going to get worse.
It isn't.
Yes, it's only going to get worse. Well, we need a revolution. What happened to that civil war, by the way? I guess it just didn't pan out. Let's do immigrants. Take Our Border Back convoy ends with rallies in 3 states and hundreds. Initially, the number was going to be 700,000 vehicles. would take part, but apparently hundreds of thousands of vehicles never materialized. I think there was more than 100. This is freight waves. Well, trucks, freight, okay. Yeah. And now it will just, travel down the memory hole. Well, we still have an awful lot of people coming in. Southern California border, new pickup locations, more arrivals from communist country of China. They use their masks to avoid being on camera.
China?
Yeah.
China? All from China? Honduras, Guatemala?
Guatemala.
Colombia, Venezuela?
Brazil.
Brazil. One thing to point out, guys, is that as these individuals continue to come from all directions, somebody is deliberately coming out here and dropping off, as you will see here, bread, crackers, baby wipes, more crackers. This is a fresh sandwich, no mold on it, it's not been stepped on, brand new bag, no dust on it. And so somebody is giving them these coordinates, new coordinates, and leading them to this location so that they come here, eat something, rehydrate, replenish, and if they don't get caught, continue on their way. Or regardless, somebody's out here dropping supplies off to them so that as soon as they arrive, look, sausage. See you guys here in a little bit. We're live from Jacumba, California.
Still coming in. A whole lot. NGOs are trafficking migrants.
Harboring right here. There it goes, guys. So the NGOs are actually trafficking the illegals over here. Harboring right here.
Arizona. And here we have, between Eagle Pass and Meadow, Texas. There it is. Where's the National Guard? Where's Border Patrol? Where's anyone?
JLR. If you guys are watching other places, JLR.
Look at this. Look at all of the clothing.
You guys are looking at this, and let me give you guys the overhead shot. This is the drone footage of what we're looking at here. You can't really tell; it doesn't do it justice. But JLR was showing us this is the gate. This is where they break right into the country. The whole this gate doesn't look like Border Patrol or anybody's done anything meaningful to attempt to secure this. And now we're gonna go through here to the Rio Grande, which obviously you can tell by the amount of clothes.
Wow. It looks like, they've been packing an awful lot of clothing, and then I guess they get the new clothing at some drop-off place or the next place that they arrive. Their coordinates are bringing them to. This is just, it's amazing that Americans are just sitting back, not screaming. Everybody should be screaming. There are some who are screaming, but everybody should be screaming about this because this leaves us very unsafe.
Trash bags. They put their dry clothes in there. Oh my gosh. Betsy, come with us. Okay. Condoms, tampons, medicine, toilet paper, toothpaste, like you said. You were spot on, man. And they're dumping these flags. What are these flags here? What flag is that?
That's a raft. Oh no, it's a flag. It's a flag. Barcelona.
Barcelona flag. They're bringing these flags over to America.
Ayer, hoy, para siempre, para siempre. Yesterday, today, forever. BSC. Ole, ole. Campeones.
Somebody else opened it up.
The eco activists should be really screaming. Look at this.
Gotten a lot of attention and just wants to see what's in there.
Look at what they're doing to the environment.
Right over here, there's no razor wire. And it looks like they at one point tried to run a roll of razor wire like they was going to do something. I wonder how much of our tax dollars were wasted on this razor wire that obviously does absolutely nothing. And like you see, this must be like a little bit of a steep point for them to come up. But obviously there's razor wire all the way down to the river and it's done absolutely nothing to stop them. And the damage, I wonder what the environmental impact is of what we're witnessing here. Fernando, what do you think, man?
And here we go. Happening now. Invasion at the southern border. Sassabee, Arizona.
Monday, February 5th, just east of Sassabee. This is your open borders. This is your open borders. You have an NGO out here that is facilitating this.
It'll continue. No civil war. Italian deputy prime minister calls for chemical castration after 7 Egyptian migrants gang raped a girl aged 13. Okay? Link is in the chat. And the other border crisis? New Jersey-based smuggling gang run by illegal immigrants, illegal aliens, illegal migrants, has helped dozens sneak into U.S. from Canada for $6,000 a head amid a 500% surge in crossings at the northern frontier. Coming in from Canada. We can't seem to stop them anywhere. Vermont illegal crossing hotspots. Jackson Lodge Road, Corliss Road, Franklin, Skunk Hollow Road, Elm Street. Wow. Wow, wow. Well, here are these alleged leaders. An alleged leader remains at large in Canada, where authorities say they have no powers to detain him? Really? No power to detain an illegal migrant in Canada? Well, that sounds pretty much like USA, USA, USA. The gang's U.S. operations were led in New Jersey by Rena Perez and Victor Lopez Padilla. Both men are undocumented migrants who entered the U.S. I'm just going to read some of this because they get captured, they get released. They get captured, they get released. Both men, undocumented migrants, entered the U.S. illegally across the southern border and were allowed to remain in the country pending immigration proceedings. Perez is a Colombian national who illegally crossed from Mexico into the U.S. near El Paso, Texas in April 2022. He was processed, then released into the United States pending immigration proceedings, but failed to comply with a condition that he check in with Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE officials. Peace. Okay. So this is another one. Ramos Padilla. Yeah, peace. 6 months later, in October 2022, Perez was detained again. This time, he was arrested near the Canadian border in Vermont while acting as a suspected foot guide to 5 other people who had just crossed the northern border illegally. Despite the circumstances, Perez was released again after telling Border Patrol agents he intended to live in the state of Washington. Perez again failed to check in, which he was supposed to do when he was released, but he keeps failing to check in with ICE, a required condition of his release. Well, I guess he just forgot. His accomplice, Lopez Padilla, is a Guatemalan national. This is Lopez Padilla. Is a Guatemalan national who entered the U.S. illegally across the southern border on June 20, 2019, when he was arrested in Yucca, Arizona. Filings disclose he was processed, then released by Border Patrol on his own recognizance. And guess what? They're committing crimes. Okay, I will put the link in if you want to read the details. But we all know the details. Arrested, released. Arrested, released. Arrested, released. Alright, this guy, Nick Johnson, I'm going to put the link in, but he traveled to that fabulous place that is like 30 miles, I think, northeast of Houston, where it's like a whole lot of illegal migrants are, well, building them their houses, and oh my God. And I don't know Nick Johnson, so I could get a copyright strike. But yeah, he goes along, and it's all for these migrants. And this should be changing the picture, but you can see the picture. He just, what is the name of the place? I can't remember now. Colony Ridge, that's right. Sprawling housing development marketed to Mexicans. All right. Migrants not complaining. Here's came across this guy, Vega Access, and I'm going to put the link in. It's an interesting video where he decided that he was going to get out of the sitting position in his home, go down to the border to check out what is going on for himself.
As I continued driving alongside the wall, I encountered what I thought were Border Patrol officials, but turns out they were the U.S. Army. Now, before you get too excited, they were there not to stop the migrants as I thought, but why don't we just listen to this exchange?
How are you, officers? Just a quick question. I'm just trying to do a report on what's happening, with the border situation.
If you want, we could refer you to because of OPSEC, we could refer you to our leadership so you could get more information about that.
Got it. No, yeah, I mean, I'm not. I know that you guys cannot do interviews, right? You're not allowed to do that, right? Yeah. No, it's just regular questions.
So we wouldn't really know or be able to really give you any information on that.
Got it.
It's more so like a border patrol. They're more like experienced in terms of these matters.
Got it. Oh, so you guys are not border patrol?
No, we're not border
We're
patrol.
not
Oh, it's
border-
U.S. Army,
Yes,
right?
yes, we are.
So, do you guys work with border patrol also together?
That's correct.
You do. Okay. So, like, if a migrant wants to come in right now, do you guys process them like border patrol, or?
No, it's just strictly border patrol.
So you
We're strictly here to help border patrol
Assist in their law
assist in-
enforcement duties.
Got it. But you guys wouldn't, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, if you see migrants right now climbing over or trying to cut over, you guys couldn't stop them, right?
No, we would have to report it directly to border patrol in the radio.
This is border patrol's.
So you're just like basically watching for them.
This is border
Exactly.
patrol.
Okay, got it. Wow, interesting. What do you think, by the way, what's happening right now with the border? The numbers that we're seeing.
Unfortunately, because we're in this uniform, we can't have our own opinion
About this.
about this. We have to be neutral.
Neutral.
We have to go by what the law says and be neutral.
Because you're a U.S. Army,
Because we're
obviously.
US Army, exactly.
I respect you for that, by the way. Yeah.
We can't have our own opinion. We sit here, and if migrants start to cross the border, we can't do anything but we call Border Patrol. That's what the U.S. military is doing on the border. He goes on and he comes across this camp.
But he just kept on going. What's up with these tents here? Maybe I'll try to, if he turns around, I'll ask him.
All right, I don't have the patience. I just don't. The link is in the chat. It's interesting, and he comes across migrants as well, and I think he comes across a group of, yes, Turkish. Let's see if it will go. Come on. Thank you. Yeah, and he just talks to these migrants, but really? So you go down to the border, you don't know what you're going to find, and what do? You come across a camp that is abandoned, well, for the time being, but then you keep walking and, oh, you bump into an awful lot of migrants there. Unbelievable. Migrant caught lying. All right, so, yeah, this is interesting too. JLR talks to this migrant in English, but then further up the road, when others are trying to ask him questions, oh, no English.
You speak English? You speak English?
Yeah, a little. You have water for the boy?
I don't.
Okay,
No. Where'd you come from?
Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic. How many people in your group?
42.
42.
Yeah, 42.
Did you come across on boat? Or
boat?
Boat.
Yeah,
boat. Where are you going? No, what city?
City, I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah, I don't know.
No. How did you get to Mexico? Did you have to pay?
4,000.
$4,000, and then he encounters him again, hat off, and he says, I don't speak English. But he gets all the way to the back of a line with all of these military-aged men, and I thought that was interesting. He volunteers to go all the way in the back of the line, And here they are putting, their backpacks into, the luggage compartment of the bus. And then he just takes off. He comes with a group of 42 from the Dominican Republic. Military-age men. Americans have to be really stupid if they think that all of these people are seeking asylum. Migrants arrested in string of cell phone robberies across New York City.
We are learning of several arrests in dozens of robberies across New York City. Those arrested are all migrants from Venezuela. Police have released surveillance video from one of the crimes, which shows the terrifying moments a victim was dragged across the street while she was robbed. Eyewitness News reporter Phil Tate is live in the Allerton section of the Bronx with more on this investigation. Phil?
Yeah, good morning, Charlene. We are just footsteps away from where police executed that search warrant on that suspected safe house just right behind me, really just trying to find those responsible in these just violent robberies that have happened on our city streets. Well, police are actively searching for 7 migrants, all a part of this accused 14-member gang. I want to get straight to some video right now from over in Sheepshead Bay that police shared with us. Really violent video, and it appears to show a person on a moped violently stealing the purse of a 52-year-old woman, only to take her phone to then hack and drain those bank accounts. Well, our cameras were rolling as police say those accused in these string of crimes are in the same gang coming here from Venezuela, and they've already cleared hundreds of thousands of dollars from victims' bank accounts. Now, while 5 people were taken into police custody just yesterday, cops are trying to find the alleged ringleader behind the tactful criminal plan, Victor Parra. We're told he entered the country last year and was even before a judge back in December on a grand larceny charge. And for investigators, they say these, quote, ghost criminals are crafty.
This network of thieves predominantly live in the migrant shelter system. They use social media platforms to organize and coordinate their thefts. Para employs a tech guy who is able to hack into these stolen phones, where he gains access to the victim's financial and banking apps.
Isn't it great? New Yorkers, are you happy with your sanctuary city? Chicago mayor hammered for a response to reporter.
Meanwhile, we got a big update.
Let me take it to where they start talking about Chicago.
Problem as well, and you were
right, and the suspects that were beating up the cops in New York were arrested in Arizona.
Just out there taking a look at it. So yesterday, the new mayor, who's been in the office since May of last year, remember, he replaced Lori Lightfoot as mayor of Chicago. He was supposed to go down to the border and see for himself in October, but he canceled and he sent a deputy mayor. Well, he was asked yesterday by another reporter, hey, when are you going to go? And listen to what he had to say to that reporter about why the mayor is not going. He's got a really good reason. Listen.
Do you understand that you have not had a mayor like me? I get that. I have a wife, I have children, they have schedules. And plus, we still have public safety that we have to address. We still have the unhoused that we have to address. I still have a budget that I have to address. And I'm doing all of that with a black wife raising 3 black children on the west side of the city of Chicago. I am going to the border as soon as possible. But I got to coordinate that with running the government and making sure that my wife and children are secure as well. Thank you, Lauren.
So what about the single black mothers that live in Chicago? That you caused the crime to go up because you wanted to fund the police, that you support the broken education system because you support the teachers' unions and not the kids. He tried to use his race as a shield in that segment, but the problem still exists, and they're affecting everyone. And they don't have, some of those kids don't have dads in their life to deal with those issues.
Mom's holding down 2 jobs,
Look,
can't afford daycare.
We all have kids, we all have busy schedules, but if you're gonna run for mayor, you gotta do the job. I mean, I'm sorry he's doing all that. We're all balancing a lot. I mean,
and a whole lot of balancing, an awful lot. But really, you have to inject race into that response? You have black kids? Really? That's like, if he was white and the response was, and I have white kids. God. My God. I look, I'm going to post a link to this video right here. These two women are talking about and talking, honestly, although still stuck in the matrix. So, Chicago mayors plan to swap black residents with migrants. But they also say that it's replacing all Americans, these migrants. I'll just play a few minutes. Hopefully it'll play smoothly.
From the black community in District 2 because of the illegal, migrant crisis?
Definitely more than I did so I'd never run for office before until the last election cycle. I was completely unknown, so I didn't get a lot of support, period. But I didn't let that deter me. I just kept going out into the community and letting people hear my message and understand that I was actively listening to learn about the people in my district. And now I have a lot more support because people, know who I am, and I had the opportunity to prove who I was, not just say this is what I want to do. So I have a lot more support this time.
From the black community?
Correct.
Now, the Hispanic community, because when we're talking about immigrants, a lot of immigrants who came the right way, did it the right way, and they're citizens now, or they probably are permanent residents or have a green card. Are you seeing support from the Hispanic community? Because some of them lean towards, I don't have a problem with the illegal migrants because they're like me. But then you have some that's saying, wait a minute, you're coming here illegally and I did it the right way. So what is the support like on a Hispanic population in your district?
I would say 70-30, 70 on the positive, 30 on the not. Mostly because the area that I'm from, you have a lot of the Hispanic culture that did come here legally, or they have family that came here legally and they eventually became legal themselves and realized, the importance of doing the right thing. So, but to be honest, the negative that I get, and this is not just from the Hispanic, this is Hispanic and Black people, Black Americans, when I get pushback, it's usually the guise of, but how can you be a hypocrite? These are your people. If you're driving down the street, you look enough like them that someone could judge you for being the same thing that they are. And I say, that to me doesn't matter. I am an American. You are an American. My family's American. The border jumped me. I didn't jump the border. My family was in Texas and when the border got moved to the Rio, my family was already in Texas. So we chose to become Americans, and Americans we are because the border jumped us. So to me, this isn't a skin color issue. This is, you're either going to do it right or you're going to not issue. You're either.
Yeah. The reason I like listening to a broad range of people, and it expands my intellectual horizons. I put the link in again. So, we're screwed, man. And Asda in the UK boycott. This guy who works for Asda, not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but he's claiming that a woman is not dressed appropriately and wants her out.
What are you talking about?
I know the rules.
Half an hour, we're too close. Just continue the show. What the f*** are you on about? You work here, yeah?
Yeah, I work here.
And you're saying that what I'm wearing is
No, because you are working without almost clothes. We can see your body
because
almost.
I'm wearing what?
Yeah, no problem. Right now, manager is coming. Manager of store, night shift.
This is what I'm wearing, by the way.
Oh boy, they are so entitled in a country that they are not from. It's remarkable. NGOs using their truck to human traffic illegals over to No More Death Camp in Sassabee, Arizona.
NGOs here Look at this, guys. Against the law, guys. Documenting something. This is totally against the law. What's happening? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, guys. It's against the law to pick up anybody. NGOs here.
A whole lot of work in this. It is deliberate. It is so patently obvious that it is deliberate. So, did you see this? I don't know if there's a way that you can post on YouTube and not have it be a short. I don't like those short videos, but I posted this and it came up on a short, not a regular video. Fort Myers, Florida, Bank of America, a guy in there holding hostages. Our country has become so exciting, it's like, wow, slow down, guys, because the heart can't take it.
Too late for that. Special ops unit. It's like this really long. Oh yeah. Shooter. Dude, they just cleared everybody out of there. I don't know what the fuck is going on. There's gotta be an active shooter in there. Look at me just standing at the red light.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, at least for lunch. I mean, literally,
This is
they're
crazy.
blocking 41, so you cannot turn down Big Pine Way. You can't turn down Big Pine Way, and you can't turn down the back way.
Wow. Excitement in Fort Myers. So everybody getting locked up, basically. I will post a link to this video, TikTok events on inflation. But what this woman has to say, I think she's quite right.
So, being homeless is illegal. Feeding and clothing the homeless is illegal. The rent is astronomically high. Mortgage rates are astronomically high. People can't afford to buy a home. We got to pay student loans back, or they're going to garnish your check, your wages, leading you to be homeless. It's illegal to have roommates, and there are states where it's illegal to have roommates unless they're your family. They don't pay you enough on the job to keep up with the wage of living, a livable wage. Childcare is basically like paying a second mortgage if you have multiple children, or even one. And if you're homeless, you get jailed. Or you're eliminated, because I'm not going to forget what happened in San Francisco where they rounded up all them homeless people and we ain't heard from them since. I'm not going to forget about that.
I never heard about that.
They have millions of illegal immigrants crossing the border, getting bussed out to all the states on our dime. They're giving them housing, food, clothes, money.
I heard about that. I really did hear about that. I heard that Biden is actually giving them money. Not the current immigrants, not the current migrants that's like coming into the US, but like migrants from like when he got into office. When he got into office, I did hear about that. I forgot from where, but I definitely heard about that.
But if we're homeless, American citizens are homeless, they're giving them child care, they're giving them medical care, education. But if we're homeless because we can't afford to live, food and gas is sky high. I just keep adding things. But homelessness is becoming illegal. So what does that mean? Let's not forget they're building tons of super prisons, these huge state-of-the-art prisons for billions of dollars. I'm telling y'all, they are trying to punish or eliminate the non-compliant parts of society. They are criminalizing everything so that they can lock you up. And the ones that cannot keep up, or the low tier people, they're either going to eliminate you or lock you up. That is the final goal of slavery. I made a video about this already. Slavery. Slavery for those that are non-compliant. Slavery for those that are at the lower part of the totem pole. Criminalizing everything. And, hold on. Mind you, in Atlanta and other states, they are giving so much more power to the police to arrest you over absolutely nothing if they decide to. They're giving them the choice on their own judgment to arrest you on certain things. And these are big things.
Wow.
If you're outside where they're protesting, they can choose to arrest you. And these are things that are going in a bill to be passed. It's already passed, like the lower Senate, and it's going up to the Supreme Court.
I think that's already.
It's so fun. Is it finally happening? This post is blowing up with hundreds of thousands of likes. Stop paying taxes. No, I don't think Americans have the balls.
There's a lot of people out there that agree with not paying their taxes this year. And there's a lot of people that like to comment, you're just going to go to jail. Let's see how that works out for you. The IRS is going to come get you. You know, our government is breaking the law every day. Constitutional law exists just the same as political law. And as long as the government is taking our tax-paying dollars and they're using it to give to illegal immigration, giving them the right to vote, giving them driver's license, allowing them to buy land, allowing them to buy homes, giving them prepaid credit cards for those who live in hotels in New York, where veterans used to live in those hotels. Now they've kicked out the veterans and moved in the illegal immigrants. States like California and Illinois are allowing them to become police officers and carry a weapon while they're on duty. That's illegal. And you're not going to use my tax-paying dollars to pay for your criminal activity in this country. In order for this movement to work, everyone needs to get involved. Oh, well, they'll arrest you. No, they won't, because they won't have the money to arrest you. They can't come after all of us because we have the numbers. So when are the American people going to stop being afraid? Stop being scared. Stop being controlled. Stop being sheep. We have a right to exist in this country. And with Bidenomics kicking everybody while they're down, making it almost impossible to survive, you need to keep your money to take care of your family. Put a roof over their head. Put food on the table. Make sure you don't lose your car. Keep your cell phones turned on. Keep your internet, your cable. Be responsible, but don't be reckless. Paying your taxes right now to this corrupt, treasonous government is reckless and illegal. And it can be proved in a court of law that what they're doing goes against the constitutional law of this land. You won't get in as much trouble as you think you will. Stand up. Do the right thing. As for me and my family, we'll lead the charge. We are not paying our taxes this year. We are not giving in to the government's control. We will not be sheep. And we will not stand by idle and let them tell us what to do in the land of the free. I will be free.
But he's right. We need everyone. We need everyone. Unfortunately, when a few stand up and they have to suffer the consequences of standing up, a whole lot in their community won't even support them. That's the problem. Americans, they're just messed up. But how about this? Colorado Democrat introduces pet tax for all animals. And it's worse than you think. Oh my God. Ah, is that not beautiful? Yeah, crazy. This is the crazy lady. Introduces a pet tax. Talk about, well, not paying your taxes. The bill, HB 24-1163, sponsored by Democrat Regina English, requires all pet owners to register their animals in a state-run system with fees that critics are calling exorbitant and unnecessary annual registration for pets, with a sliding scale of fees that seems to punish those without the means to pay. $8.50 for pets with a designated caregiver, $16 for unneutered or unspayed pets with a caregiver, and a hefty $25 for pets without a caregiver. What is the caregiver? Is somebody going to be paying $25 for strays? I don't know. The financial burden could be significant for multi-pet households, not to mention breeders and sellers who may face the tax for each animal over 6 months old in their care. Dogs and cats, to reptiles, amphibians, fish, and even invertebrates leave no pet owner untouched. The financial burden on a family with a diverse array of pets, how about an aquarium of 100 fish? Could cost the owner, no, come on, $2,500 annually? I'm reading this and I'm thinking to myself, wait a second, it is the United States, it is the madhouse, it is government, criminal governments, criminals want your money. Yeah, so, yeah, don't think something is just not quite right because it sounds so outrageous. A menagerie of 20 assorted pets, including a dog, cat, hamster, several reptiles and fish, could see an annual tax rate of $170 to $500. Even a child's ant farm is not exempt. Oh, come on. From this sweeping legislation. The Department of Agriculture is tasked with creating and maintaining an online pet animal registration system with stiff penalties for non-compliance, including fines up to $100 per unregistered animal. This could mean that an unaware pet owner with unregistered aquarium fish could face fines up to $10,000. The bill's intent is to connect pets with their owners or designated caregivers during emergencies. So maybe the caregivers are those who foster animals during emergencies. And while this goal may seem laudable, the method, a tax, has been met with skepticism. The state's overreach into private lives with this registration system has pet owners questioning the true motives behind the bill. Yeah, we want to know exactly how many cats and dogs and, well, how many animals you have. Because when we start our climate change measures, and, well, you got dogs, their carbon tax, it's pretty heavy. And, of course, it's also stealing. It's stealing. It's stealing. Hello? Hello, Americans. Are you alive in there? All right, I'm going to play some of this. Celeste Sloan, I want to thank the subscriber who sent this along to me. Warning, hydrogel is now in reformulated bleach. You know, I bought a bottle of Clorox bleach, and I was using it for washing clothes. And I was pretty amazed because it came out like a gel, not liquid. It poured like a gel. Huh.
Hi, this is Celeste with the Celeste Report, and today my snippet is on bleach. And this is a prepper moment, so pay close attention. Maybe you've heard a little bit of this, but I'm sure you haven't gone down the rabbit hole that I just went down. So in a disaster situation, most of you are aware that you could put a little bleach into some questionable drinking water and it will be safe to consume. Do not do this from this day forward. Boil your water for 10 minutes. No exceptions. Why do I say this? So bleach has changed its chemical formula to sodium hypochlorite with a few added extra ingredients that you need to know about. The product I am reviewing in this snippet is Clorox, the brand that most of you are familiar with. The bleach active ingredient is sodium hypochlorite today. Historically, their bleach was made in a process beginning with passing an electrical current through salt water to produce sodium hydroxide and chlorine gas, and these two products were then combined, producing sodium hypochlorite bleach. The Clorox company's headquarters had always been located in Oakland, California, and they got their salt water from the San Francisco Bay to make this bleach. Once it encounters organic materials such as dirt, heat, or light, the bleach very rapidly breaks down into a salt and water. So what are these mysterious other bleach ingredients that I discovered as I went down the rabbit hole? Let's find out. So in addition to sodium hypochlorite water and a small amount of sodium chloride, sodium carbonate and sodium hydroxide are included for product stability to maintain pH. Polyacrylic acid, and it is included as an anti-redeposition agent and also a polyelectrolyte complex that improves brightening. So let's just dive into these two and find
The link I'm putting in the chat again. Listen, because it's not just one ingredient in bleach that's not good for you, but several. What a surprise, huh? What a surprise. Everything is poison in our country. So, on that note, I hope that all of you remain well. I don't want any of you to suffer the consequences of what is going on. Unfortunately. Roll Tide 92, fix your volume on your end, okay? I know, and look, 13 years of doing this. The first couple of years, not one subscriber had suffered the consequences. As I continued, I saw more and more. Either their homes were flooded or their homes were burned down. They lost a job. They became homeless. More and more. More and more. So I do hope that all of you are preparing your psyches for what is to come. Yep. Live honestly and speak honestly. Reestablish trust. Help those in your community that are in need. They're out there. Help the animal shelters. Help the shelters. Help your friends and family. You know, put away all of the insignificant dysfunction. Try your best, because this is not the time for it. And on that note, I thank all of you for showing up. Hope to see you tomorrow night. And yeah, good night and good luck. Ciao, guys.